And I mean, that's a this could work moment, man. That's a little this could work moment. Just to plug
Yeah.
it. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
That's what this whole thing's about, is that feeling like you can actually chase that
And
dream and create that thing that didn't exist before and ultimately bring something new to the world. We're back with another episode of This Could Work, the podcast where we celebrate creative risk-taking and the people shaping the future of brands. I'm your host, Will Trowbridge, founder of the creative agency Saylor. Today on the podcast, we have Doug Zanger. Doug is the founder of Indie Agency News, a media platform for indie agencies with the goal of increasing their visibility and market share. Saylor has been a member since 2024, and I've gotten to know Doug, aka Uncle Advertising, over the past couple of years. Welcome to the show, Doug. How was your weekend?
Well, it's really warm up here in Portland, Oregon, and I like to ski, and I don't know if we will ski this year.
Yeah.
Not to be all bummer about it, but no, the weekend was fine. Super Bowl I'm ambivalent about, though I'm glad the Seahawks won. Because
I was going to
live in
say,
the
you're like a
Northwest.
Pacific Northwest guy.
Yeah,
Come
but
on,
I'm an
you must
Eagles
have some
fan.
affiliation. Yeah.
Let's put it this way. I'm a Philadelphia sports fan and a Seattle sports enthusiast. Let's put it that way.
Okay,
So there
that's
you go.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Indie Agency News, Are you the sole founder?
Yeah.
What has it been like to found a company? I can relate to that smile right there. And I'm curious to really hear from you, like what the expectation versus reality was
Right.
like, in the early days and today, even kind of how's it been?
This conversation, you need to understand. So the thing that will probably be underlying this conversation is that I am half Italian. So bear that in mind. Whatever comes out of my mouth, I am half Italian. I had always wanted to do this, and I knew there was a need for it. And it was May 2023. Put up this shitty little logo that said "Coming Soon," Indie Agency News. That was my market test, just to see. I put it up on LinkedIn just to see if it would do anything. And if it didn't, I said, all right, well, I'll just keep doing my thing and figure it out from there. It went a little gangbusters, and so I said, okay, crap, I gotta build this. So started building it, and that first 6 months. So I'll take you through the timing, because
what were you doing at that time? Were you kind of
I was consulting a little bit. I was running an organization called Think Northwest, and it was now known as Next Northwest, so trade association here in the Northwest. Used to be an ad club in Portland, but we made it a bit bigger. Being run very admirably by Kent Lewis. So they're doing great and improving every year, which is great to see. So was doing that, and then teaching at Portland State University. So I had this intuition that this was going to become a thing. I had been so conditioned to be in the trades with Adweek and the Drum and all of that for a very long time. And it started out that way. It was, I'm going to create a trade publication that's super familiar, that everybody gets. So that first 6 months was just figuring out what this was supposed to be and where I hit on it.
Yeah.
But it was simply to get my sea legs a little bit and figure out how I could be a little bit different. And I've always wanted to be very respectful of all of the trades. And so when I started this, I sent a note out to every trade publication, giving them a heads up. Hey, we want to support you, and we'll cover your. It's only fair if you're gonna be talking about somebody else's work. You need to give them the proper credit, because I knew that we weren't going to be like this huge news gathering thing, and we were going to be a little bit different. And that was really, and to this day, we will always, especially for our members, if a member wants to be in one of the trades, we'll do everything in our power to help them build a product that makes it competitive so they can be in the trades. We want to be able to support them. And so that was what I started with. And then when we got into 24, I knew pretty early the things that I missed and the things that I thought I was pretty good at, which were, I missed being in the trades. I enjoyed that. I really did. I thought I was pretty good at broadcast and I really liked it. And wrapping the indie wrapper around it was simply a no-brainer. So philosophically, the idea has always been, how do we act more like broadcast and less like you would expect a trade to act? And
what does that really mean? Like, what does that mean in detail? Like, what does
prioritizing
look
live?
like?
Yeah, prioritizing live and video.
Oh, just live and media.
Oh yeah,
okay,
as much as you can. And part of it too is the energy around it. When you come on to a show, we have people saying, "Oh, you're doing a podcast." Cool. However, my nose gets a little wrinkled because the style that we're trying to convey is a show.
Yeah.
And I don't mean this, especially present company, I don't mean this in a pejorative way that podcasts are bad. They're not. But what I've learned is if we are going to go down this road, it's important for us to position this as a show because now you as the guest, or now we've opened it up to members hosting shows. Right. If you are a host or you are a guest, the expectation is that there's going to be a different energy to it.
Yeah.
And so that's really, it's a semantics thing in a way. But then once people see where we're guiding them, then they realize, oh, this is a little bit different.
Yeah, it's an ecosystem.
Yeah, technically it's a podcast, but at the same time, if someday CNBC comes to us and says, hey, we want you to do a weekly show on broadcast, great. Like that's
right.
We want to go that direction.
Right.
That's really where we're so that was been the main differentiator. The other thing too is on the written things, and we do plenty of written things still. We didn't want our members to feel as though that they had to do a ton of work to get to it. So over time, so 24 was when I started thinking, okay, let's bring in more members, let's get more feedback. So we've always done these 15-minute member coaching sprints. So for Indie Agency News, there's 5 components. You get coverage, you get coaching, you get to be part of this community, you get to celebrate with awards and events, and you get connections through agencies and or brands. So those are the 5 main things. But what we realized was if we can make this easier for people, number one, that's simply the way it should be. But then secondly, it gives us a chance to keep our momentum going, and it's never start and stop. So the thing that we landed on after 18 months of research were these tools that we developed called First Pass. And so I go back to the coaching piece of it. The coaching piece of it, a lot of it has to do with these tools, and there are 6 of them. So they're essentially analysis tools. So if you had an op-ed, I used to have a score that I would give when I was at the Drum. I used to get op-eds and I would score them a little bit. And so I dusted that off a little bit and used that pitch pilot. If you want to be an ad week, ad age, the Drum campaign, send over the pitch. We'll give you feedback. Awards optimizer. We're doing a ton of those always. Panel pilot. If you wanted to pitch Cannes Lions for a panel, South by Southwest. Optimization for websites, and then messaging optimization. So what we found were these 6 key areas that people were coming back to. So we built tools around that. So one of the things we talk about internally is we want Indie to be the most valuable membership that you have. We really want it to be very, very valuable. Yeah. And it's going to be different for everybody. It's going to be absolutely different. So somebody like Rethink is going to use this platform differently than you would, differently than bakery in Austin and et cetera, et cetera. So we got to the 24 and then to 25 made it more sophisticated and got to the point where at the end of 25, it's like, this is the product. So in that entire pathway was, how do we keep this momentum? How do we simplify it? Because probably from your point of view, when you were founding it, you have an idea of what you want to do, and then you get in your own head, and then it's hard for people to understand what you're trying to accomplish because there's so much going on.
Yeah, I think that any founder has a core idea of what the reason why they do it is they think they have something that inherently has value that they can invest their time in and stay passionate about and hopefully grow into something bigger than themselves. I mean, at least in my case.
Exactly
And so
right. Yeah,
I think that like, even when I asked you that question, it's so funny. You went immediately to like the services you offer and like the story of your growth versus even how you think about it as a founder. Because I think that it's so easy to think about those two things as the same. But I, over the past 5 years with Saylor, have completely realized they're two very separate things. Me as a person has grown very differently than me as a founder of Saylor. And I think that in moments, those are one and the same, but in other moments, they are very different. I'm like, just curious, coming from a place where you were, you did have someone else supporting you, someone else paying your salary, all those things. And I know you still do teaching work and things like that, but just thinking about the sweat.
You don't get the teaching to get rich.
No, I know, but the sweat equity, and the freaking grind that you've been in. I mean, just curious about your mentality through it all.
Every day when I wake up and just sit in front of my computer, I think I get to do this. And the thing that drives me is, what good can we do for people today? And that's our members. And Kyle, Katie, myself, Angela, and Paris, there's 4 of us that are running this thing. It always comes back to, is this good for the members?
Yeah.
That's where it starts, and that's where it ends. All the stuff in the middle, we can figure it out, but it's a very simple construct and question. And if the answer is no, and there were some things that I tried in 24 and 25, and just like, I don't know if this is good I don't think this is in service to the members. And there was some stuff early on that was really self-indulgent, but I was still feeling it out, right? I remember the first.
Give me one of those. I want to hear about it.
I just remember like getting our first subscription, our first membership. And I was talking to my dev. I was literally on the phone with my dev. And I go, holy shit. He goes, what? I said, an agency just signed up. And then, then a second one, then a third one. And then I think the self-indulgent point was probably, I think it was less me trying to be like, oh, it's all about me. I'm so uncomfortable with that. And I realized that I come across a certain way, but I am an introvert. And so when the light's on, that's my job.
Totally.
And that's okay. But I felt like I was getting out. I felt like I was chasing something that I had chased before that felt very much like the trades, which is okay. But it really wasn't us. And I didn't think it was going to be useful. I didn't think it was going to be helpful. And maybe I simply needed to get that out of my system.
You did. Yeah. And I mean, that moment where someone's actually like giving you their money for your service, for the value you bring to them, is like, that's an incredible feeling. And I mean, that's a this could work moment, man. That's a little this could work moment, just to plug it. Let's be honest. That's what this whole thing's about, is that feeling like you can actually chase that dream and create that thing that didn't exist before, and ultimately bring something new to the world that fundamentally is scary, but because it's new, but it will fundamentally work because you believe in it.
When I thought this would work, I thought this would work back when I was at the drum. I really did. I thought this would work back then, so it's 10 years ago. And I have so much empathy. And I go back, it goes back to this thing of, I know how hard all of this is. It's not easy. But when you do it and you're with your people and you do it well and you're growing, there's nothing better. There is nothing better. Nothing is easy. Nothing is easy. So at the end of 23, we had 34 agency members, I think. It was something like that. At the end of 24, we had 163. Now we're at 320.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a great. And here's the thing,
man.
It's a great start. It's a great start.
Yeah.
Yet the way that we've built this business, it's designed to be affordable enough to bring more in so that we can serve more people. And that's the God's to honest truth. I want to serve as many people as we possibly can, because there is nothing greater than working on something. For example, one of the first pass things, sending that feedback back and getting oh my God, thank you.
Right.
We're doing our job.
Yeah.
And that never, ever, ever gets old. I love that. I love feeling as though I'm being of service to people.
Well, it's definitely an echo chamber sometimes over here in indie land. You know, you feel like you're by yourself and just making these
It's
decisions.
not even an echo chamber. It's like having a lacrosse wall. It's just,
Yeah, totally. You're soloing and you're doing your best. So having a bit of a feedback loop is incredibly valuable.
You've touched on this. I want to get to you first. I'm always the one. I'm always the one asking questions. So this is foreign territory for me. I've heard your story before, and how did you get past? You were in a very high profile role before. How did you get past not the public part of it, but the bullshit of people coming at you with slings and arrows?
You're talking about it in my previous roles?
Yeah. So it's like you start this thing and then everyone's like, oh, now he's a competitor or whatever.
I've had an interesting evolution of my personal life, going from peer-to-peer colleague with all of these people at a place like Netflix to now being a vendor in people's eyes who want something from them. So even in the rooms where I used to be thought of as friend Will or colleague Will, and they're like, can I say this around Will, or is he going to email me tomorrow and ask me to work on that project? So I've noticed there's like a little bit of a shift there, which has been fascinating. And I've also, on the kind of jumping into agency land, had a bit of imposter syndrome with the fact that I had never worked at an agency before starting one. And I think it's been an incredible blind spot for me. I've I think really benefited from it, not having that baggage of going up through a 20-year, agency career and then starting one, based on some ECDs, I don't know, that I've been following. Instead, I jump over and I build the agency I would have wanted to work with and do it from the bottom up, first principles style. Now, that has been challenging for me because I sit in rooms next to those people who've been in agency life their whole career, and I know that they have a deeper understanding of what I do than I have. And I just ask myself, do I fit in here? And even when we were at the small agency awards last year, getting up on stage and telling my story, I was just a little bit kind of oh my God, do these people even do they like me? Am I one of them? I've kind of now sit between worlds a little bit where I'm a foot in the old world and a foot in the new, even though of course I've built Saylor and I'm so proud of that. But it's just it's a unique thing mentally to be kind of this former client who now no longer fits in with my previous colleagues and also isn't squarely in agency land either. It's somewhere in between and it's blurry.
For what it's worth, I'm going to give you the Sally Field thing. They like you. They really like you. In case you're wondering.
Take that.
Yeah, everybody does like you. And I think part of it is the fact that you did start with first principles and that you did start. And I think it's your willingness to listen and learn, but also to teach others as well from your experiences. So I think it's a unique position that you're in.
Yeah, good.
And so
I'm glad to hear it. Yeah, well, I appreciate it, Doug. Before we go, I want to hear about in-house News and what's to come there.
Yeah, your guess is as good as mine. We are live.
Okay, that's good. All right, see you, Doug.
No. This is going to be a little bit different in that we're going to start it privately. So this will not be very public facing.
That's smart.
And for a while, because here's the thing. I go back to this idea of indies never had their home, their own home. In-house is the same way. And listen, the ANA does great things in the same way that the 4As does great things for agencies. Yet this is a slightly different approach, is that we're publishers and that we're also coaches. And again, the A&A does amazing things. This is slightly different. This is like the editorial arm of it, for lack of a better term. And so we're simply going to get together, learn from each other, but then also, while this is going on, determine the best route forward about how we want the in-house practice to show up. How should this story be told? How do we build this story together? Because most of the time in traditional journalism, and shout out to all the great journalists out there in this space, in-house doesn't really get a ton of attention. And so there's a little bit of a lack of control, but it's not so much a lack of control, but lack of understanding.
Yeah.
And having built in-house things, I know what it's like.
Yeah.
And so we really want to try to build what the ethos of it is. The mission is the same as Indie, which is build a global home for in-house teams.
Yep.
That's the brief. The mission is to serve in-house talent and serve in-house teams and the brilliant people behind them. And then the goal, we'll work that out together. Like, what does that goal mean for Indie? It's more visibility for indies and more choice for marketers.
Of course.
So now we have to figure out what that is. So we'll give it some time. And we might, I don't want to put a deadline on it, to be honest. It may be beginning of the summer, end of summer when we do stuff. But we'll do things, and we'll do things online as gatherings. And then, we're starting to do more live things with indies. So when we do an indie thing, maybe we do an in-house thing the next day or whatever. So,
and also I would say mix it up. Other people are making that jump all the time and are much more casual about it.
And so membership $13.99 per year, up to 50 people per membership. Now $6.99 for the first 50. See store for details. I used to be very good at VIN numbers.
Doug, thank you so much for joining us. This has been fun.
Yeah, mate. Mazel tov to you. You're doing great work, and appreciate your support of this mission, man.
This Could Work is a production of Saylor Creative Agency and hosted by Will Trowbridge, the CEO and founder. The show is executive produced by Ray Vada and produced and edited by Corey Lubowich. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.
As an indie, you have no place to hide. You can't hide behind the Penske account. And Seinfeld reference, most everything will be a Seinfeld reference from here on out.